to the Voiceover Round Table. I'm Mike Tobin.
And I'm Emma O'Neill. Every week, we get together to talk about all things voiceover, with a special focus on community.
Bringing you in-depth interviews, roundtable discussions, special performance events, and industry-leading guests.
Let's get started. This is the Voiceover Round Table.
One of the 2 or 3 times a year that I actually have my trailer and promo voice.
How apropos for tonight.
Acquired in Florida, nonetheless. You know what? At least it's not the Rona.
Seriously.
Anyways, you think that spending a few days in the beautiful warmth of Orlando for a conference would be great for one's health. But you know what? I'm on the mend, so here we are, and Emma doesn't have to do the show alone. Yay!
He sends me these messages every once in a while saying, so you're good by yourself. And I'm always like, I'm sorry, pardon? No, we don't do that. No. Unless someone's dying or dead. That is not happening.
Yeah. In a world.
I'm telling you, record a demo tonight and keep that for those moments.
I can only do this when I'm sick. It's crazy, but oh man.
We almost had technical difficulty, but I feel like we're going to be okay. So I think I'm going to launch straight in.
We are Mercury Wranglers, I tell you.
I'm telling you, it's coming out of retrograde soon. So we're going to be good.
Bring it.
But tonight, as senior producer for network television, he's been in charge of promo campaigns for a multitude of shows. One of his jobs is to direct and discover voiceover talent. That's his point of view with private lessons and workshops. It's the perspective of the on-air producer.
He has been working in the trailer and promo world for the past 25 years. In his early days, he had the pleasure to direct such legends as the Don Lafontaine and Don Pardo. And now he has the privilege of working with some of today's voiceover legends, such as Reno Romano, Mike McColl, and Zach Fine.
So we would like to welcome to the roundtable producer, director, coach, and all-round awesome guy, Mr. Harry Dunn.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be here, all.
Thanks for being with us, Harry. Yay, that's the rub, man.
Well, I'm not wearing a headset, so am I coming across clearly?
Yeah, you sound perfect.
You're fine.
God, I don't want to wear a headset. You just made my evening. Now I'm ready to. I'm ready to talk turkey because I don't have to wear a damn headset. I don't know how you voiceover artists don't the cauliflower ears after 20 minutes in those things. So
right. It's like the MMA of the creative and artistic world, eh?
Exactly. So, anyways, my ears. Thank you. Mike,
you sound great. It's all good. We're good. You sound great.
All right. All right, kids. What do you want to talk about tonight?
Well, first, I want to check in. Like you were just up here in my city in Toronto. How have you been?
Can I just say that Toronto, aside from the incessant horn honking, is a true national treasure, that town. And Emma and the great Ilana and I spent quite a bit of time together running around the city to the Hockey Hall of Fame and whatnot, and various restaurants, and even caught Hamilton at the Prince of Wales Theatre. So I made the most of my time in Toronto.
You did the grand tour. You did the grand tour.
I even got Alana, the Uber driver, to take me to the airport on that Sunday. So it really worked out well for me.
Nice.
But I was pleasantly surprised and very encouraged by what I hear coming out of Toronto in terms of talent. Or maybe that was just the 2 people from Vancouver that flew into town. No, I'm kidding.
Hey. So, you had some awesome people, awesome folks. It was a great group.
You know what? What made that seminar so successful is that there was no weak links. There was nobody where you had to like inundate them with notes and they still weren't getting everybody. Like one note, boom, next person. It was great. It was really positive, and those in the that attended should be very proud of themselves. They did very well. Even you, Emma, didn't do too shabby.
I was okay.
I hear she's pretty good.
She had her moments. She had her moments.
Every once in a while, it's something the penny drops, and I'm like, oh, that. Got it.
Yeah, for those of you who are grasping to understand what's going on now, Harry was up recently a couple of weeks ago to put on a private group seminar that Emma and crew had organized, and did the grand tour of the Toronto while he was up here. and things went very well. So, Harry, thanks so much for being with us. It's really cool to have you, and we got questions, like for sure, and our audience are probably going to have some questions too. As your bio alluded to, you have a great career. And you've worked with some truly amazing voice talent along the way, which I'm sure we'll get to a little bit later. But for now, would love for you to tell us how you got your start in this crazy industry.
All right. So after I graduated from USC, which is this college out in Los Angeles, one of my first jobs was working for Canon Films. Now, you young people have no idea what I'm talking about. Canon, there used to be an era where there'd be filmmakers who loved to make B movies. Okay. Roger Corman actually was my very first job working for Roger Corman, but my second job was working for Canon Films. And these guys made all the Chuck Norris Missing in Action movies, and they made the American Ninja movies and Revenge of the Ninja movies and the Breakin' movies and the Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo movies.
Oh, I love it.
Nonsense.
That was why we call those B movies. Those were my A movies of my teenage years. Seriously.
Well, based on budget, probably. So I came on as like, I don't know, a gopher or whatever that entry level thing is. But I knew how to edit. And then somebody quit. And I said, listen, I know how to cut this promo. Can I just try it? And so I just did it. It's like I was 22 and I did it and they liked it. And I just stayed on and I just built my career from there. That's what was my first job, cutting God, I don't even remember. Up Your Anchor. That was the first thing I ever cut. It was this Israeli movie that was dubbed in English and picked up in the United States called Up Your Anchor. It was a comedy. It was just some sort of a tits and ass American Pie kind of comedy. It was awful. It was completely unwatchable, but I managed to build a trailer out of it, and the rest was history. So there I was, a 24-year-old guy, 23 years old, and I had to direct Don Lafontaine in a number of sessions. And the one rule with Don is you couldn't ask him for an insurance take. It was just like this weak sign of weakness if you did that. And of course, he did a perfect one take, and I knew I couldn't go back to the senior vice president and say I only got one take from him. So I kind of sheepishly asked for an insurance take. And he was nice enough to take pity on me and give it to me. So I didn't get fired for going back with one take. So, but, back in that day, he got triple scale and everybody else got scale. So I think scale back then was 500 plus 10 meaning they pay for your agent's commission. And Don got 15 plus 10. And back then you had to sign SAG contracts. It wasn't just all done on the internet. There was no such thing as the internet. I was born, when Lincoln was president. So I'm sorry, that's an American reference. When the original Trudeau was prime minister. No, I'm kidding. So, wow. So there'd be these SAG contracts lying around, and we were doing a session with a guy named Mark Elliott, who's also a legend in the voiceover world. And Don came in early to a session, and Mark was just finishing up, and there was a SAG contract on the table. And Don looks at Mark's SAG contract and turns to him and goes, "Is that all they're paying you?" So, fortunately, Mark Elliott had a good sense of humor about it and just laughed it off. But I thought that was kind of a funny way to learn about Don Lafontaine. Anyway, but I know those stories get boring about the golden days of yesteryear.
They don't. That's why we ask them.
Yes.
They might get boring to you because you tell them often, but you're talking to a bunch of people there's a few people in this room who have never heard you speak before, and they're really excited to learn about it. So Waffle, do it. Do your thing,
I just
Harry.
remember there was a voiceover artist who is no longer of this earth, so I will go ahead and say his name. His name was Gene McGarr, and he had this beautiful Irish voice. Like, you'd want to book him on children's stories or anything that's warm and sentimental. He was kind of Hal Douglas before Hal Douglas, but you had to get him exactly at 11 o'clock in the morning because anything before 11, he was so hungover from the night before, his voice was scratchy, and anything after lunch, he was drunk. So
there you go.
If you didn't get him at 11 o'clock, you were in trouble. Because this was before ISDN, and ISDN was before Source Connect, and you had to actually drive around town and go to studios. So there's a lot of stories about the old guys. But, now the industry has changed. There's a lot more voiceover artists competing for jobs. It's all done on Source Connect. There was a time where at the CW, we would have you come in if you wanted to. Like, Rena Romano loved to come in.
Yeah.
Because he was the voice of, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and he was the voice of, about 20 shows. You'd love to come in. And now you can't do that anymore. Ever since COVID hit, no more. No one's allowed in at all. Everything has to be done over Source Connect. But it was always fun to have the guys come in. It was a kick in the pants.
It's different times, but but I mean, with that, I love when Mike basically writes up a bunch of questions, and it's awesome. And from the word go, we seem to be following what the questions are, which is cool. Like, you've had multiple decades in this business, and you've seen a lot of changes. So what do you think some of the biggest challenges facing voice actors are? Like, what can they do to take on the business in 2023?
Oh, the biggest change in promo. I'm not going to talk about well, actually, it's true in trailers, but promo's trying to follow trailers, and they're trying to get rid of voiceover altogether. Just have maybe titles and tags, but that's just like on the heavy dramas. When you have like these bouncy little reality shows, there's still a ton of copy, and so the comedies on CBS still has a lot of copy, and if nothing else, I tell you, if you want to learn how to be really good at your craft, learn how to do a title and a tag when that's all you have for your audition. When it's like Arrow, all new this Thursday at 9/8 Central on the CW, that's all the copy you got.
Wow.
Okay. How do you work with that? Okay. Well, you just, if you don't know the show, just figure out what the show is. You go on Wikipedia, maybe, here's a great website. I'm going to type it in here, I guess, so that everybody can.
In the chat, yeah.
I type slowly, so just televisionpromos.com. All right. Give me a thumbs up. Everybody sees that link, or does somebody give me a thumbs up? Okay.
We are holding our thumbs up. I can.
Okay,
taste.
that will tell you. That is a great place just to look around and see what's going on in the community.
Nice.
Okay. It's just, if you want to know, so the answer to your question is what's going on in the promo world, go there. Surf around. God, I haven't been there in a while. I'm going to go on this computer. Let me take a seat here. All right. But learning but seriously, getting back to learning how to do a title and tag audition is so not easy, but you just cannot be bland or generic in anything you do. If you want to win that's exactly what this is. Oh, that's perfect. I love this website. Yeah. All right. Everybody go to that. I mean, there's just millions and millions of promos scrolling down. Y'all see it? Good. Go there after this seminar. Okay. I forgot. I lost my train of thought. That's so typical.
It's okay. We got you.
What are the trends?
But in terms of, we're talking about titles and tags.
Yes.
You got to figure out the attitude, okay? Because there is a propensity among many voiceover talent to default to what I call the bland generic read. And what the bland generic read is, it's just a very safe read. We don't take any chances, and it comes across bland and generic, and we listen to it on our end, and you get what's called nexted. And what nexted means, I'll spell that out for you so you know what it looks like. Okay, there. Okay, that means, not next. I typoed that. It means that 8 words into your audition, it's so bad that the people listening go, next, and then that's it. You're done. If you get nexted, it's probably because you defaulted to a bland, generic read. You did not create an attitude with your read. So if you're doing, let's say, a superhero show, and all you have is a title and a tag, and you just go like, Arrow, all new this Wednesday at 9/8 Central on the CW, you're going to get annexed. But if you realize that it's this macho, badass show for the men and for the women, as Emma's been taught to doing a sultry read, it's more like, Arrow, all new this Wednesday at 9/8 Central. If you do something like that, you have a fighting chance. But the first thing I did, that generic thing I did, you have no chance. Now, Emma, since I suck at sultry, can you just kind of give them an idea of, when we've worked on this so much, just pick a show and an all new this Thursday at 9/8 Central. Can we hear just a title and a tag in sultry? Do you mind?
Like Errol?
Any show you want.
Errol, this Thursday. Errol, this Thursday, 8/9. I can't say it because I'm not reading anything. I need to.
No, I want your stuff like Errol, all new this Thursday at 9/8 Central on the CW.
One second. Errol, all new this Thursday.
We're typing it out.
I swear to God, I can't. If it's not written down.
Put it in the chat. Type it out.
Okay, here you go. Stand by.
Standing by. Standing by.
Be patient, everybody. And
Dave's typing it as well, but we need all of it. We need the 8,
Yes.
9, 7.
Just read that in a sultry voice, okay?
Doing it. Arrow, all new this Thursday at 9, 8 Central on the CW.
See, now she's created an attitude. That's a sultry attitude, okay? Now, read it bland and generic, so we have something to compare it to.
Arrow, all new this Thursday at 9, 8 Central on the CW.
What's going to book? Okay? Ask yourself that. It may just be a few words. We're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words there, okay? But there is a world of difference between a read with attitude and a read that's just bland and generic. Okay, so don't sit there and look at an audition like that going, well, it's just a title and a tag. Let's just here we go. Read. Okay, send to my agent. Stop and think about what is the proper attitude that's going to get you booked for this gig. Okay? All right, that's. I'm getting up my pedal.
No. That is
No.
awesome. That is.
It's really good. Go ahead, Emma.
No, just because it is generally when people look at tags, it's like, oh, just say the words, or they'll do an ABC of 3 different inflections. It's like they'll just do
Thursday.
all new this Thursday at 9, 8 Central on the CW. All new this Thursday. No. All new this Thursday, but instead of actually having something to say. So it's really important to point that out, that they're not just words, it's a story, even if it's just a sentence.
Right.
Or if they have their recently acquired promo voice, they can go Arrow.
The reason I bring up sultry, this is something that I worked on a lot at the Toronto Summer, to the point where Emma's probably rolling her eyes right now hearing this again, is when a man who has got that deep macho voice has got a deep macho audition, like a superhero show, like Arrow, like the one I just made up. A woman cannot compete in a macho voice. It's just not going to work. So you have to do something different that they're not expecting. Okay? So what the woman has to do is a sultry read, because men cannot do sultry. So while a man is doing Arrow, all new this Wednesday, the woman, is doing Arrow, all new this Wednesday. Okay, that's a terrible sultry, but you get the idea. All right? Don't ever try to compete with a man in a macho read. Go sultry. That is your, what do you call it? Your arrow in your quiver. Is that right?
Very fitting. Arrow in the quiver.
Love it.
All right. You want arrows in your quiver, and for you lady folk out there, the sultry read is money. So just think about that. All right.
Yeah, right. Harry, I want to take a step kind of back, because now we're really into nuts and bolts here, which is cool, and I want to go back into this zone. But if we take a little step back, one of the topics that's come up a few times here on the show is how promo can be a pretty exclusive and elite genre to break into. So for voice actors who are training and working towards it, what do you think the best avenue to get into the fold is? Like, is it okay to contact promo producers and production houses directly, or is it something that's best left to the relationships established through agents and agencies?
Agents and agencies, absolutely. I just have never known anyone who's done those cold emails to get, maybe in the affiliate world or something like that, but in the network world, it is a very straightforward process. There is a show. We have an approved campaign where a guy like me is the scratch VO until it's time to hire the person, okay? And then, all right, let's voice this person, okay? What's the spec? Okay, we want macho read if it's a guy, sultry read if it's a woman. All right, there's a spec. I just made one up. They're going to send it to Atlas, DPN, KMR Talent in New York, Sutton Barth and Venari, and probably ACM. And that's, maybe what's the other one in New York? Stewart. Okay, that's it. They don't need to go to DDO or Impressive or whatever the other ones are, because they just know that at an Atlas, a DPN, etc., that's the cream of the crop to begin with. And so why go to these boutique agencies when you know you're going to get what you want from these big agencies? So the real trick is to get one of these big agents. I mean, that's just flat out the truth. If you can get DPN, you can get Atlas, boy, you're going to get a ton of auditions, but you also have to understand that it's one thing to get this agent based on your demo. The next thing you have to do is be able to duplicate the talent that's on your demo in a real world audition setting. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes in a demo, your demo producer can make you sound great, give you line reads, whatever. And then all of a sudden an agency will love it. We'll say Atlas, hypothetically. And all of a sudden they start giving you auditions, but you can't duplicate that because your demo producer isn't there to give you line reads. That's one of the biggest issues with demos is that falls into the category of not being ready. And we'll get to demos later, I'm sure. But just make sure if you get an opportunity to go to an Atlas or a DPN that you can follow it up with good auditions. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? You just don't want to be, this is a once in a lifetime shot, to get these big agencies. They're not, and if they drop you, they're never going to pick you up again. I can actually go to another one
because with continuing with that is with DPN. When I was picked up by DPN, they actually sent me a bunch of auditions that were not real auditions, but they wanted to see if I could do promo, commercial, TV narration, what my booth sounded like, how I followed direction that was very, very sparse on the script before. Like that was, step one was, we like your demos, we like your voice. Step two was, can you reproduce the demo?
Yep.
Right. I think it's so smart of an agent. I mean, I that's one thing Heather would ask me over at Atlas. It's like, is this person good because you made them good, or are they really good? And I go, of course they're really good. And then one guy told me he sent 27 pieces of copy, and Heather just sent him 27 pieces of copy. Says, okay, you do this, get it back to me when you can. No help from Harry. And then he did not get in on Atlas. He could not handle the 27. So just make sure you understand promo. I think the best way to break into promo is to break into commercial, to be honest with you. Now, this is how I look at commercial. All right, can we segue into commercial now for a minute?
Sure.
Mike? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I want you to think about American baseball, okay? So, and I want you to think about you're in high school baseball, okay? Which is like beginning voiceover, high school baseball. All right. In the world, you can either go to single A, double A, triple A, or Major League Baseball. In commercial, you have all four of those, with single A being something like voicing your local appliance store, okay? All the way up to Major League Baseball, which is the equivalent of like a national Verizon campaign, okay? All right? Single, double A, triple A, Major League Baseball. In promo, it's from high school straight to Major League Baseball. There is no single A, double A, triple A, okay? So it's very hard to go from I'm just starting out to I'm a star in promo. One guy I know has done it, and his name is Gabe Kunda over at Atlas. That's about it, okay? So it's really important to learn the craft of voiceover. Now, obviously, commercial and promo are completely different in their rules. I mean, if you think about any commercial, it's a soft piece of music and you. Okay, so you can talk like this. It's going to cut through just fine. It's just a little piece of music. But when you're doing a promo where the music's going to be more rock and roll driven, maybe, or with risers and sound design and dialogue, you have to fit in and out of. You're going to have more of an intense read to cut through. Okay, I have an expression: your voice needs to cut like a Ginsu, which ages me because 30 years ago there used to be a product called a Ginsu knife that they would sell on TV with an 800 number, and it doesn't matter what you chopped, the Ginsu went through it. Okay, your voice has to cut like that in promo. Okay, so I think it's just really smart to get your sea legs in commercial and then move to promo instead of the other way around.
I think to get up to that level you were talking about, and we've talked about it a few times here, Emma's well aware, some of these agencies, and I did see it in the chat, some of the agencies that are that creme de la creme A-list top of the top have maybe 3 genres that you need to be playing in already before they take you on. And so maybe it's commercial, maybe it's narration, and maybe it's, a little bit of promo or whatever, but before you get in, correct?
Yeah, well, the third one is usually animation or video games. That seems to be pretty current. I don't know about narration. I don't know how much like an Atlas or DPM books narration. I mean, you guys would know better than I. I just think that if you can do 3 demos, you definitely need a commercial demo. You definitely need a promo demo, minimum. And there should be a third one, an animation. If you got the chops for animation, not everybody has that. or video games, although sitting around screaming into a microphone might not be the best thing for your career. Agamemnon, get thee to... No, it's all that nonsense, I guess narration's okay. What else is there? I don't think
narration's still considered one of the
I don't think like political, maybe. Automotive, no, not really. I guess, I don't know. At a minimum, commercial and promo, and if you can think of a third one. But these demos are $2,500, $3,000, $4,000 if you go to Maurice. You could go. That's a lot of money you're spending just to get demos done. But just But we'll talk about demos later. Are we going to talk about demos later, Mike?
Well, if you want to talk about demos, we're going to talk about demos because somebody's going to ask you about demos. That's for sure.
Right.
I like what you were saying about the no help from Harry. I like that.
No, but it's true because you could call your coach and be like, "Oh my God, I just got all of this stuff to help me get in," and then you're led by your coach, and then you're still not presenting what's authentic and real to what you're able to do by yourself.
Yeah,
right.
I think it's one of the nice things that sets apart many of the higher level demo producers is they will want you to be kind of vetted by a coach before. So they usually have a few people that they like to work with, and they're going to check out to see if you're ready. And the really good ones will tell you if you're not ready. And I think that's a great thing. And some people get peed off by that and start sending nasty emails to demo producers, but people, they are doing you a favor. If a demo producer tells you you're not ready, you're not ready. It's okay.
Yeah, that's money out of their own pocket. Nobody wants to say that. But I honestly, I don't get that very often because promo is such a high-end business that I just don't. I think I've done and I've been doing demos for close to a decade. I think maybe I've done 3 in my life that I regretted, just because I should have paid more attention to the person, like more often than not, I use students. I just do demos for students because I am really aware of their brand. And oh boy, Emma, we're going to start talking about brand pretty soon, and then all hell's going to break loose. But if you hire an outside person who doesn't know you from a hole in the wall to do your promo demo, and they don't know your brand, and you don't know your brand, then you're going to get some generic, shitty demo that is never going to do any good for you. You need to know what your brand is. Who are you? Are you the country comfort guy? Are you the big boomy bassy guy? Are you the soccer mom woman? Are you the raspy voiced what's the word? Irreverent person? There's just I'm just making stuff off the top of my head, but you have to know what your brand is if you're going to go with a demo producer who doesn't know you. So the advantage to going with a coach is that, like I did Emma's promo demo, I knew her brand inside and out, and her demo was reflecting of that,
Yeah.
So that's just a piece of advice. Whether it's me or Mary Lynn Wisner or Nancy Wolfson or whoever that you're with and you're coaching, just make sure that your coach is involved in some capacity. If they can't physically build the audio tracks and you want to go to another person, just make sure, just pay extra and have your coach direct you. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Everybody understand that? All right.
Absolutely. I want to ask a question that's actually got to do with promo, just from the audience. Does kid programming promo versus other channels change the promo approach?
All right. Jen Greenfield's question. Let me read. Does kids programming promo versus other channel change the promo approach? I don't understand.
So like Nick Jr. versus
Kids
Disney
stuff,
Plus
shows.
versus.
Oh, okay. Nick versus. I wouldn't worry about network to network. I would worry about show to show. Like if you're doing like a cartoon for like a 6-year-old versus, maybe a 13-year-old kind of scripted comedy on Nick, you would, even if you switch networks, you would still do the 6-year-old's cartoon one way and the 13-year-old's scripted comedy another way. You know what I mean? It's really, I would not say it's network to network. I'd say it's genre to genre within the kids' world. Okay,
and like audience target age.
Yes,
basically. Yeah,
that's a big one. Because if you go to a bunch of 13-year-olds and you made the promo like this, they're gonna want to punch you in the face. Okay, it's just. Let's not worry about networks. Let's worry about this specific promo. All right.
Okay.
What the words are on the page. Why? Because all the answers lie on the page. That is something I say
All of the time.
I know. And brand, I know. I got a lot. I repeat myself a lot, but this is stuff that's worth repeating. All the answers do lie on the page. It's a fact. So, anyway. All right. What else should we talk about?
We can talk about when you started coaching and why you started to do that.
Well, I had Heather Virgo, now Heather Dame, at Atlas, had reached out to me when I was just a promo producer. She wanted to get to know the CW people. They had never been able to break into the CW. They just had never. Atlas, for some reason, they couldn't book anybody over there. It was all, at the time, Paradigm, now called KMR, and DPM was just getting everybody. Okay. SPV was getting people too, because Reno was is an SPV client. And so she took me out to lunch just to pick my brain. And then I was talking to her about how much I was hating the auditions that I was hearing because I just didn't understand this technique and what we need and blah, blah, blah. And she said, you should coach this. And I said, really? And then I thought about it and I realized that there is something to be said for coaching from the point of view of the other end of the audition, where I have heard all the bad auditions and the good ones and why the good ones get cast, why the bad ones get nexted. And so that just became the curriculum for what I was doing. And then once Heather found out I was doing this, she started sending Atlas people to me and the business just took off. So I owe a lot to her. And I owe a lot to Mary Lynn Wisner. She sent her commercial clients my way too. And she put me on her Meet the Pros thing. I think I'm doing a Meet the Pros on July 10th. Does anybody do Meet the Pros at all? Let me see. Mary Lynn. The weird thing about Mary Lynn Wisner is I knew her and I had no idea she was even a voiceover coach because her kids and my kids went to the same school. And I had zero idea she was a commercial coach. And then she told me, all right, her shit sells out in 2 seconds. Monday, July 10th, I'm doing a Mary Lynn workshop. If you know, it's voicesvoicecasting.com, something like that. So if you want to do it, I would suggest you look that up sometime in the next few days. Okay. Carlin, is the likelihood of booking a promo pretty much the same as commercial once you're at a strong agency? Here's the thing about being at a strong agency. You just got to make sure they know your brand. Because what you want to have happen at an agency is let's say a network's calls. We'll just take Emma's. So they call Kama, that's her agent, and they call Kama and say, hey, we want no more than 10 people. Okay. Now, there's two things an agent like Kama can do. This is not Kama specifically. Again, I'm just being hypothetical here. They can pick their top 10 earners and give the auditions to them, or they can pick 30 people who Kama thinks might work for this. And what's great about that, and then Kama herself will pick which 10 go on to the network. What's great about that is the 30th place person has the same odds as the first place person in terms of getting picked by your agent to go to the network. So that's a good thing about that's kind of an agent you want is one who will, you don't want anyone just to always be the same top 10 earners every time, because then you really don't have a shot. But when they start going into the ranks to see who can compete with the top earners, then you're off to the races.
There's another question in the chat from Gio. Is ad-lib or humanization important, or stick to the script when doing promo? I've said it's
stick to the script when doing promo. Boy, I tell you, people do the laugh speak. Holy hell. That is an immediate next. You know what, the laugh speak, when you say a sentence like this, that is an automatic next. Because what you're doing is you're taking attention away from the dialogue and everything else that's going on in the promo, and you're making it about you. And that's a terrible mistake to make. So please do not do that.
Oh, we've heard that before. It's not about you.
It's a great
I want
question,
to double back to, it's really good, to kind of the numbers crunching that you were doing, because it's always good to get this perspective for people. When we're at this high level for promo stuff, how many are getting through to like the last round, for example? Or how many come at different stages?
Well, that's a good question.
What's the process?
The process is in a huge audition. Let's say you're launching, I remember when Batwoman came through about 4 years ago. I was at the CW. It was like, so we start with the room producer. The room producer is the guy in the audio bay that if I'm not directing the VO, he'll be directing the VO, but it's always me. But sometimes there's promo producers who would rather stick needles in their eyes than direct a voiceover session. They just, for whatever reason, that just like, they would rather stick needles in their eyes. All right. Can't explain it. It's not who I am. It happens. All right. So then the room producer will direct the VO. So they'll listen to the 100 and they'll maybe pick 50. Okay. Then from there, those 50 will go to a guy like me. You know, I was a senior producer, you know, my campaign. And then I'll pick 10, maybe 8. And what I'll do is this is a good point I'm about to tell you. So what I'll do is I'll take out my scratch VO and I'll drop in the audition VO and I will show the senior vice president 8 versions of the same spot. This is what you need to know. It's a 30-second spot and you decide you're just going to let this thing breathe and you're going to read at this pace and suddenly your tempo is for a 40-second spot and I can't fit you in because you've decided to read the spot at this pace. You're out. You just got annexed before you even had a chance to be heard by the senior vice president. You know, if we can't fit you into the pause, meaning the space of where I put my voice in is the temp VO, you're done. We're not going to recut the spot to accommodate you. So just be aware of tempo, or of pace, I guess I should say. No tempo. And if it's a 30 and you see 7 lines of dialogue in the script and you see that your VO is 26 seconds, so you're allowing 4 seconds for 7 lines of dialogue, you're dead. Okay? Be conscious of that, okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Hopefully it does.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So then, all right. So then I'll play like the 8 or so, and then she'll just pick. And if she doesn't want to make the decision by herself, she'll go up the chain to the executive vice president, and she'll say, "I like these 3," and then he will pick the one if she doesn't. And but usually it's a senior vice president. It's gotten to the point now that I'm where I am in the voiceover community where I just know who I want. I said, you know, I'll just go and say, I don't need 100 auditions. Give me these 12 people. And then, and then they're kind of cool about that. So I got no skin in the game. I don't get any. There's no quid pro quo or anything. If you're good, you're helping our network. It's as simple as that, you know.
Yeah.
And so I'll just pick the 8 and cut them in, and there you go. You know what's really cool is I did a show called March, and what it was about an HBCU marching band in college. Now, HBCU stands for Historically Black Colleges and Universities. In our country, it's like Grambling, and in this case, Prairie View A&M, which is a school outside, I think, Houston. And we did a reality show on their marching band. It was great. And we had a bunch of people read for it. And one of my guys is this guy named Zeke Alton, who is defending you all well in the Writers Guild strike and in the voiceover community. You got to love that guy. And it turns out he went to Prairie View A&M. And so I put together these auditions, and I gave her 5 of them. I said, I got to tell you, guy number 4, I don't give him names because I try to keep it as neutral as possible. I said the 4th one actually went to Prairie View A&M. And the senior vice president thought that was so cool that she hired him. So you just never know what's going to get you hired. That's just a fun little story. So, but yeah, so the answer to your question is yes. I will whittle it down to 5 to 10, and I'll cut it into the spot, and I'll send it off, and then the higher ups will make the final decision.
But I'm doubling back to something you said so that everyone is clear. I'm taking out my highlighter and highlighting it. 100 auditions. Right?
It could be as many as that. It just depends.
No, that's to some people that's many. To some that's few. Like we've heard commercial casting directors say that they hear 800 auditions.
2,000 auditions.
Yeah.
Commercials different. But it's a national campaign. They're probably hearing voices in Chicago and New York and LA and Austin, Texas. There's a huge pool. You mentioned those 5 agencies or so, and if it's 20 from each of those agencies, boom, there it is. We would never allow one agent to send 20. That would just piss us off. That's just too much to listen to. I think 100 is a little bit of an exaggeration. I think those days are gone. I think there was a time when it was that many, but maybe 100, I guess. But I guess maybe 100. It's just weird because you're listening to 100, and how do you discern what's good and what's not? I mean, you can immediately tell what's not good. It's, the whole thing is taster's choice. That's an important expression. It means you've done a great audition, and it just comes down to things that are out of your control. Oh, I want a man. Oh, I want a woman. Oh, I want someone who sounds 20 years old. Oh, I want someone who sounds 60 years old. Oh, I want someone who's got a really bassy voice. No, I like a high timbre voice. That's all out of your control, So all you can do is just be true to your brand and submit an audition that is awesome to your brand. And if you don't get it, chances are it's just because of a taster's choice reason. Okay?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want everyone to remember that, taster's choice, because
And it's true, like you say, there's things that are out of your control. I mean, the analogy we've used before sometimes, and it gets used often, is you're turning the knob on the radio. For those of you who turned knobs on radio back in the day, but you know what I'm doing. You're scanning through channels or whatever on a live radio. Right. You don't know what you're looking for, but you know it when you hear it.
Correct.
Good. Yeah. That. I mean, it's amazing to get these other side of the glass insights, because as voice talent, we're just like often just firing stuff into the void and like, well, was it good? Was it not good? So it's great to have someone like you, Harry, to come on and give us that peek behind the glass. What do you think some of the common mistakes voice actors are making that keeps them from making the short? You talked about a few, but maybe some other mistakes that people are making that keeps them from getting on the short list.
I would say the biggest one is the bland generic read. That is a death sentence. I cannot stress that enough. The bland generic read, where you don't want to take a chance. You just want to be safe. If you ever have a coach that tells you to be safe in promo, please fire that coach immediately, because that's such bad advice. Safe is boring. It doesn't mean you have to do something like out of an SNL sketch or something, but at the same time, you should be able to create an attitude. And remember, these are all notes of nuance, okay? It's not like, either I do it like this and I'm bland, or I do it like this and I really stand out. No, it's, nuanced attitude, okay? Just if you just find yourself making safe, boring choices, that's one thing. Two, if you gloss over your adjectives, that's a really bad trait to get into, because we write adjectives for a reason. You need to perform them for the same reason. Like, I had a promo script where I was talking about something that was grim, and I said it was about Grimm's fairy tales, and I wrote the line, "Tales too grim for words." And I can't tell you how many people went, "Tales too grim for words." No, tales too grim for words. It's more like that. Take advantage of your adjectives, act them out. You act out their meaning. Why would you say tales too grim for words? Tales too grim, it's just stuff like that. If you have a line of copy that's like, when 7 amazing British All-Stars, and you go, when 7 amazing British All-Stars, you're never going to book. You got 3 adjectives, 7 amazing British All-Stars, something like that. Okay. Like amazing in that particular example is what we call a hyperbolic word, and you want to hit that full throttle, high throttle, because it sounds ridiculous to go the other way.
Amazing.
Here's a little thing. Punctuation tells you so much about what to do. Now, I think it's also a common mistake when you get a promo script that you're ignoring. Well, here's the biggest crime that voiceover artists commit in auditions. They don't bother to read the dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay. So they'll start reading it like a grocery list, like filled with gingerbread houses, Red Riding Hoods, and a big bad wolf. What are you getting at the store today? I'm going to get eggs, bacon, milk, gingerbread houses, big bad wolf. You know what I mean? It starts sounding like a grocery list instead of like a performed promo audition, because you're just trying to get to the finish line and you just think. Here's the example. Do you remember in high school, you were in homeroom and there was that guy that read the morning announcements, okay? And he had like the sheet of paper, and it sounded like this in front of the microphone, and he would go, tickets for the Valentine's Day dance are for sale this Friday in the cafeteria. Get them before it sells out. And you're hearing that, and you're just going, oh, fuck, can I go back to bed, please? If your auditions sound like the dude who read the morning announcements in high school, you have done something terribly, terribly wrong. Okay, so
Fair.
Just read the dialogue, understand what's going on in the promo, figure out the attitude, and be true to your brand.
There it is. Covering a lot of
Love it.
bases there. Folks, if you joined us partway through this evening's show, this is the Voiceover Round Table here on Clubhouse every Tuesday evening, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, talking about all things voiceover with a special focus on community, bringing you roundtable discussion, special events, and industry-leading guests. And tonight, our special guest is promo producer, director, and coach, Harry Dunn.
Ta-da!
And we're having a good time while we're
having
at
a great
it.
time.
I think we got a whack ton of questions in the chat, but is
we
anybody
do.
going to come up and speak?
They're always like at the gym and doing laundry
I know,
and stuff. So I'm going to ask John's question. He's got a couple. Ooh, we got
can't
Jen coming up on
prioritize
stage.
us. They have to multitask. Oh,
John-
Jen Greenfield's on stage. Look out.
I'm going to ask John's question first in the chat
Yeah,
before
go for
we
it.
ask Jen. How much does it help making relationships with trailer houses and such and getting on scratch tracks?
Oh, that's incredibly important. That's how that's what you have to do it. I mean, you just have to do it. I just think it's very important, and it's much easier to get in with trailer houses, I think it is, than promos, because promos is, I don't know, it's just fast. You got to get it done in 12 minutes, and it's got to go out that night. And trailers, you have more time with it. So yeah, it's just if you can get in with any of those trailer houses, or let them hear your voice. They may not hire you at the end of the day, but at least they know your name, and that's a starting point, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Definitely.
Okay.
Jen, I feel like I haven't spoken to you in forever. How are you?
It's been hours and hours.
Hours
right?
at least.
Hey guys, I'm doing well. Hey, I just wanted to circle back, Harry, if you don't mind, just revisiting my question in the chat, just for clarification. So I've done a little bit of promo coaching, but obviously Emma's voice and my voice are very different. And the type of promo, I know, shocking. We sound so similar. So when I asked about like kid programming, and the approach, is there a different type of demo? Am I working with a different type of producer? If I'm trying to I say exclusively, I'm not trying to limit myself, but I'm not going to get the, she murdered her husband and now we're going to find out, how. That's not going to be the read I'm going to, the promo type of promo I would get. So do you try for, again, more like children's programming, and does that approach sound different? Do you do a different demo?
In terms of your demo, I would make it maybe 2 of the 6 spots. Just make sure they're different. Like have the teenage Nickelodeon and the kids animation Disney Plus. And then, with your voice being what it is, you could do, let's say, an Olympic spot for women's swimming, okay, which is really bright, and you're at it. And then maybe
FX.
do a promo for Mom on CBS, the comedy, or Two Broke Girls, something like that. And then
That's perfect.
If you want to try to do something heavy, like I put Euphoria on Emma's just because I thought she had enough weight in her voice to do a spot like that. But there's just there's other emotional things you could do, or if you have a good rock and roll voice, you could do a promo for Daisy Jones and the Six on Amazon Prime, or you don't need to do 6 Nickelodeon spots.
No, that's perfect. No, you've absolutely in one explanation. So just have both, but blend it in and give the range.
Yeah.
Done. Thank you.
So Jen doesn't need to niche down as much as she
That's right.
thought.
Well, you're just drawing to an inside straight, as they say in poker, by doing that, and that's not. It's not going to open up a world, and it's going to be very hard to get a huge agent if all you're doing is one genre of TV.
Yep, got it. Nope, thank you so much. You nailed it. That's what I needed to know.
Sweet.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Jen. There's another question from John. It was earlier. How and where do you see streaming taking effect more so than already?
In terms of promo?
Yes.
How do I see streaming? Well, I don't know. And listen, I don't think it matters. I mean, every hour of every day, there's a show on TV that has a promo for it, whether it's a rerun or a Canadian acquisition, which is going to be very prevalent with the strike. But there's always something to promote on broadcast TV and on cable TV. There always is. There's always something that's there. So, I mean, it's not like, well, we're going to block out 2 to 6 in the evening because streaming's really popular. No, it's not. They're going to have something. So streaming is, I think it's apples and oranges is the answer to your question.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm.
All right. You
So
scroll.
let's talk about demos.
Yes.
Ooh.
Do. Because I feel like we're going in that direction anyway, and it's a really important part of this. Because as you were saying earlier, if you have a crap demo, you're not going to get anywhere, and if you can't reproduce the demo. So what's your process for working with people to do a promo demo?
Okay. I hate to keep saying the same word over and over again. I apologize, but it's such an important word. You have to be on brand with your demo. Okay. And it's not like let's just take Jen, who has kind of a young, animated, high energy voice. At least, it's just based on our quick conversation. It sounded like you have. So how do you write a demo for that particular brand? Oh yeah, so you do a Nickelodeon spot, you do a Disney Channel Plus, and you do a CBS comedy because there's a propensity for that kind of high energy read to work in that. What you don't want to do, what you got to be careful about if you're a woman and you've got a demo producer who doesn't understand brand, is they're going to go, all right, we're going to give you 3 HGTV spots and 3 Lifetime spots, and away we go. It's like, what? No.
Yeah.
Jen, your demo would be what we talked about, a fun sports spot. I think, like swimming or tennis or something that's kind of up and bright, kind of a read. And then you'd want to do a CBS comedy. And then do I want to go down into a place like Euphoria? No, I don't think that's right for you. If you want to do an emotional drama, I would say there's got to be something more playful than that. Maybe something like A Million Little Things would be a little more on track, although I think that show is in its final season. And then, maybe there's an HGTV. You can do like one HGTV spot. That's fine. It's not a bad idea. And with your voice, Jen, that would actually probably work. You just don't want to do 6, and I don't ever do a Lifetime show for a woman. I have a mother and a sister and a daughter, and I'm not about to, and a wife, and I'm not about to have to look them in the eye and go, I made a woman do a Lifetime spot. I'm so ashamed. So I don't believe in that nonsense. So anyways, being on brand, that's the most important part of demo. And if they don't know your brand and you make a demo, that's on you. Okay. That's your fault. You picked somebody that didn't understand who you were, and that's you can't ask for whoever to give you your money back. If they don't know your brand, they're just going to give you something generic, like sort of, let's do a cover the bases demo. But agencies aren't looking for a cover the bases demo. They want to be able to listen to your voice print and go, okay, I know where I could use her. I know where I could use him. Oh yeah, I could give him all that the procedural stuff over at ABC. Oh yeah, I could send him those auditions. Oh yeah, he'd be great in motocross and sports and MMA fighting. That'd be great. It's just you want to give them you want the agent to go, okay, I get it. I know what to do with this person. So, but if you get stuck with a bland generic demo, they're just going to go, I don't know how to use you. I've had this one agent in New York tell me, I don't know how to use him.
Right.
And it's not, and those are of course demos I didn't produce, but it's like, but there is one rejection that is acceptable, and you should feel proud of yourself. And that is, we have other people that have your brand, and it's like, well, yeah, there's always going to be other people, and it's nice to know that the agent isn't just adding to a particular brand. They're being loyal to their customers. But if they say they have someone who sound enough people who sound like you, that means you're doing something right. That means that big agency has people who sound like you. So congratulations. You've figured out your brand, and that's just the wrong agency for you.
Yep.
So
exactly.
So just and I just do think there's charlatans out there, not as many as there used to be, that I don't think have your best interest at heart. They're just looking to ring the register and just everybody's got a shit detector, and if your shit detector starts buzzing in a meeting with a demo producer, just don't trust your instincts on that, because this is a lot of money, and you just don't want to end up with something that you don't enjoy. If they're not with you all the way, they're not like including you on everything. Like when we did Emma's demo, first thing I did is I sent her an email saying, I want to do these 6 promos, excuse me. This is what I'm looking for in your voice. Before I even went to script, she had to approve that. Which she did, because she trusts me foolishly, I might add. And then then I wrote the scripts, gave them to Emma. She had to approve the scripts before I gave them to my audio engineer. So then she did, and I gave them to my audio engineer, and he built all the audio, and he used his own voice as scratched. and he has zero talent in voiceover. Everything is just a monotone, which is great because when you go in the session, you don't want to hear an audio engineer acting out your demo. You just want a flat read. You know it's a placeholder. It's perfect. Okay, so when Emma came in on Source Connect that day, it took an hour, and we dropped her in, and she heard her demo basically that minute. And it had to be refined and polished and put together. But before that session left, we figured out a batting order for the demo because we just dropped her in right then and there. That's how a real promo session works in the business. It's all built. We take out my voice, we put in your voice, in a real session, okay? And my demos are exactly like the real world. So the idea of reading you wild and then building audio tracks around that makes zero sense to me. Like, so much of what drives a good read is music and reading to the music.
Yeah.
So
it does.
So that's what I have to tell you about demos,
Well, we have a question continuing about that. How do you stand out if you actually do have a quote-unquote traditional promo voice?
Traditional promo voice is a brand. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. Just make sure your demo speaks to that. If you have a traditional promo voice where you can do this voice right here, and maybe you can go down here and do this voice, and maybe you can even go lower and do this voice, and maybe you can do something irreverent. I've been talking to people in their 20s about their demos. I said, do you want to do a demo for who you are now or where you want to be in 3 to 5 years? Because when you're really young, your voice changes. Once you're in your 30s or 40s, it's pretty much going to stay that way until later in life. Wayne Gretzky always talked about he's not passing the puck to where the guy is. He's going to pass the puck to where the guy's going to be in 3 strides.
Right.
Okay. And sometimes I think a demo should be like that. It should be designed for where you're going to be in 3 strides if you're really young, in that metaphor. So
I like that.
Understanding your brand, understanding where you're going, just be particular, and don't work with people that are like saying, no, we're going to do it my way. It's like, wait a minute, who's paying the bills here?
Yeah.
Just stand up for yourself,
Yeah, talent have a say. That's what I think they give away their power too often.
Well, then that's
it's
terrible.
Demo. It's our voice. Like
Well, now that's just a shame because, I'm just very inclusive, and I don't want to make a mistake on your demo. The worst thing for me, the absolute worst thing, is if you didn't say something, and you said, "Sure, I approve it," and then it's gnawing at you, and you just wish, "Fuck! If I had just fixed that one tag where I can think I heard a mouth click, it's driving me nuts." I would just in the session say, "I don't know, something about this is bugging me." I'm not going to go, "Oh no, you're wrong." I'm going to go, "Great, let's redo it." It's like that's such a bad feeling when you have a demo and something's just, and you're just so mad at yourself for not speaking up. So I try to help you speak up.
On commercial demos, me and Emma drive Romanowski nuts with those things.
Absolutely.
We drive him up the wall.
I drove Harry nuts too. It's great.
Yeah. Don't give away your power, folks. This is you're building one of the most important tools you have in the most important arrow you have in your quiver. It's your demo.
Yeah.
Right?
He's
so
right.
Lean in, make it be you. If it's commercial, it should be brands that you know and love and stuff like that. And if it's promo, it should be shows that are a fit for your style.
Yeah, genres. Think of it in terms of genres.
Yep.
What shows fit that genre,
Yeah.
So.
Ashley is asking, how do you find your brand? Good question.
Well, I mean, how do you find your brand?
Yeah, if you don't know where to start, if this is a new concept for you I'm a brand? What is that? How do I do that?
Well, I mean, how do you find your brand? I mean, boy, I don't know. Emma, how'd you find yours? It comes just from doing auditions and figuring out who you are and how you talk and stuff like that.
Yeah, what I book in and what my voice resonates with, and what I resonate with as well. It's like there's particular things that I won't voice for, and I'm lucky that I'm at a place now in my career that I can say no. But even before that, there was still particular things that I was like, no, not my jam.
Yeah,
don't want to work in that. So
a lot of it is, like just hearing, again, I'm going to go back to you, Jen, just hearing her voice. It's like you can kind of, I've heard her say 3 sentences, and I kind of can recognize her brand. It's kind of what the good Lord, I think voiceover is 90% what the good Lord gave you and 10% what you can be taught, so, so just, unfortunately, it's that 10% where people go astray in their auditions because, I think the day, though, of the people so in love with their voice, they're thinking they can just read the morning announcements and book are long gone. There's just too much competition out there,
Absolutely.
Those days, those guys, they just thought they were Bob bitching and they had this deep voice. They could just, read an obituary and book a job. No, those days are gone.
With that, how important is versatility? That is John Worsham is asking that question.
I gotta say it again. Versatility within your brand is a must. Being a jack of all trades, master of none is a bad demo. I'm gonna do 6 genres that are completely unrelated. They don't speak at all to what my brand is. You have to be versatile, but within your brand. How does your brand do a procedural drama? How does your brand do a wry comedy? Like those FXX comedies, What We Do in the Shadows, that kind of stuff. Okay, how does your brand do sports? How does your brand do reality? How does your brand do heavy drama, emotional drama? How does your brand, do a CNN documentary series? Stanley Tucci eating in Italy, that kind of thing.
Yep.
That's the answer. So yeah, you got to be versatile, but just make sure you understand who you are. Demos are just too damn expensive to just say, I trust you, whatever you want to do. It's like, I don't know.
No, it's really valid. Like, a bajillion years ago, I did a demo with someone who I thought, we got along in the knew each other kind of thing. And it was a bad, so bad. It's like my voice has not really changed much since I was 3. It's always been like at 20, I couldn't audition for 20-year-old spots because it's just, I don't have that voice. And they were writing spots with like Maybelline bubblegum lip gloss. And seeing if I could get up here to do it. I was like, but why would I do that?
Well, that's why I talk about the sultry read versus the macho read for women, on that macho audition. It's just, that was God, did we cover the hell out of that on that Saturday?
Yeah, we did.
Another thing we didn't try that was really good is I had people read to music every so often, and just God, the first read and the last read were just complete polar opposites, and all because we just ran a music cue, So
it's really true, and that's something that. I coach with Harry, so that's one of the things, and we do not sell from the stage. But I'm just saying, one of the things that we do, if I get stuck in something that I'm not quite getting what's happening, he's like, okay, look up this song on YouTube, listen to it, now do it. I'm like, oh my God. Now I get it. Yeah. And it makes such a difference. So if you're if you got an audition, and it's like, I had an audition the other day that they actually sent the music that they thought would be in the background. It was like, look, here's the link for a song on YouTube. It was brilliant. I was like, this is fantastic.
For any genre, that's great.
That's a gift.
For any genre, getting the music to know where you're going with it. It's great.
Yeah. That's very true. I say Spotify and noise canceling headsets are voiceover artists' best friends.
Yeah.
So love it.
Fair. Do talent have to read to music at all? Ever? Frequently? Never? No.
In a books? When they're hired? Always.
Yeah.
Always.
That's something to know. That's something to know.
Remember, when you're booked onto a job, it's a finished spot. All we're doing is taking out my voice and putting in yours. That's all we're doing.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm past the point of having people read to track. because then it's like 3 beeps, and they're more concerned about how fast they say it than how they perform it. I say, fuck that. I put music in the bullpen, like meaning I just take the music and string it out for 3 minutes, and I said, just give me 3 takes of the script, okay? And then if it doesn't fit, we'll do it again. I'll say, do it a little faster. I hate this whole beep, beep, beep. I got to get this to time. No, I hate that. I just have them read it wild, and chances are it'll fit. And if it doesn't, you have to do it again. Oh, woe is me. A little faster.
Woe is me. I am the one out of so many that booked the promo job, and I'm going to complain about seriously. Yeah.
Nobody complains about it. They're so fucking happy to have the job. Except for the guys that are booking 20 promos a day. And then they're just like, God, I had one guy, I actually did a demo for a guy who makes $2.5 million a year in promo, and most of it is work he got himself. It's just like the most unbelievable guy. It's unbelievable how much this guy works. And one day I was in a lesson, he goes, hey, we got to get this lesson over with. I got all these auditions to read. He showed me a stack, what looked to be like 60 pages. It's like, and it was like 8:30 at night Eastern when we did this lesson. So like, all right, we can go now. So anyway, all right, I got sidetracked there. All right.
That's okay. Mike was coming up on stage, and I don't know where he went. So either I hit the wrong button, which is absolutely a possibility. Slip of the thumb, not quite sure. So
I'm looking at these names. I don't see anybody from our Toronto session. Oh, man. They forgot about me already.
No, they haven't. Don't be silly. There's actually quite a few people here that wanted to come the schedule didn't work. The timing did not work that day. Dave is one of them.
All right. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do next. I was kind of thinking maybe just do it always in Vegas, but try to do it on weekends when there's cool shit to do in town, like an MMA, like a UFC fight or Formula One or whatever. And then, we're out the door at 4 o'clock or whatever. And then you got the whole evening to do, some cool concert. I don't know. I wonder if that would be more of a instead of me, I could go to towns, keep going to towns, or God, maybe people would want to come to Vegas and make a fucking Vegas weekend out of it and do the promo session. I don't know. What sounds better?
If you build it, they will come.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just, people have to travel to Vegas. But, I mean, do you guys like the idea of going to Vegas for like a long weekend and working in a promo thing and then doing all that cool shit that comes with being in Vegas?
We're getting Terry Briscoe saying, Vegas, baby.
I think you'd probably get a few takers.
Yeah.
I think you'd get a few takers.
There's a few in the chat right now. Sue, hell yes. John, I'm all for Vegas. I think
they don't have
a possibility.
To fly or exchange currency like I did in Toronto. I could charge much less. I could charge I think I charged $4.49 US for Toronto because of all the expense that went into it. If I just did it here where I live, I could drop it down like $2.99 or something. I mean, that would be a lot different. But every time I have to get on a plane and rent a hotel, I have to jack up the price because I got to cover my costs and all that.
Yeah.
I just do it in Vegas.
Bring them to you.
Come out to Vegas.
Hey, many people, a bachelor party gets them to Vegas. So,
Harry is in Vegas, yes. He moved to the Las Vegas.
It's called Summerlin. It's the little city. But yeah, all right. So just out of curiosity, would you oh, hi, Sonia. I remember. Would people come to Vegas, or would you want it to, I might do, someone wants me to come to Kansas City, someone wants me to come to Chicago. I mean, Kansas City, yeah. I just don't know who would come to the Kansas City one, Bo. Matt Weevil doesn't do promo anymore. Carrie Olsen's got kids. I don't know if she could get away for the day. I'm not sure Andy wants to spend the money on it. So, would people have to come in from Texas, Oklahoma to make it work? I don't know. It's tough, but maybe. I don't know. You got free babysitting in Vegas.
Exactly.
So I may try it and see what happens, and just that might be more fun. But I got to figure out a good weekend. I don't want you guys to spend all that money, come to Vegas, and there not be some kick-ass show like
Adele.
Well, that's $1,000 to go to. That show is an impossible ticket to get. First of all, she's playing in a 3,000-seat auditorium. Let's just start with that, okay?
Wow.
Which, by the way, when they come to Vegas, like I saw Elton John here, while you guys were seeing him at Dodger Stadium, I saw him at Caesars Coliseum, 3,000-seat auditorium. Same show. So that's the great thing about Vegas. Just saw John Cougar Mellencamp at another 3,000-seat auditorium. But like 2 months ago, Taylor Swift came and played where the Raiders play. I mean, I could have done the seminar that afternoon, and you guys all could have been to the show by 8:00, and because the studio is not that far from Allegiant Stadium. I mean, I'm just thinking maybe do it that way, where there's an event in town, and maybe it'd be kind of fun just to, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I'm curious what people think. So, but I love doing those seminars because they're so productive. Oh, you're right, John. It does make the hotel rates. Well, yeah, I guess so. But
John's like, stop selling and just do it.
all right, I will do that. All right, that's what I'll probably end up doing. So I might come to Kansas
Harry's
City.
looking at all the concert schedules coming up, and
Yep.
I kind of want to go to Kansas City just so I can go to Arrowhead Stadium and see a Chiefs game. That kind of seems like fun to me. And since they're always on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, I mean, I'll be able to see that with no problem. So, all right, getting off that. All right, so what's next?
Well, we've covered what not to do in promo. We've covered demos. We've covered why you're a coach. We've covered all sorts of things. So we could see if there's any more questions from the audience, and we could also let you off into the world.
All right,
Dave's asking, do you do Zoom classes?
Oh, yeah. I do. That's my main profession, one-on-one. Here's my email, everybody. Let me this is how you get a hold of me. If you want to do lessons or talk about a demo, just write this address down, please. I'm typing it poorly, as always. All right, there we go. All right, that's the one. That's how you get a hold of me. Can you discuss the play-by-play of an actual promo session? Yes, it takes 12 minutes. If it starts getting into 15, 20 minutes, you're getting into trouble. But it's like you connect on Source Connect. It's like, hello, hello, hello. You know, it's like, hey, is it working? Hey. They want to make sure that you don't have any, what's it called? Compression. You know, make sure you never want to have compression. Compression is your enemy. It's not your friend. Just remember that. Compression blows. We never use it. Okay. I never use it on a demo. I'd rather stick needles in my eyes than have compression on a demo. All right. And then, so once all that's been done, we got your levels, then you've been emailed the script by the room producer, and I'll give you some direction on it, and then go, all right, well, listen, we're just going to read to the music. Here's the music. Give me 3 takes of this. And then, and I'll go, great. All right, I like the first paragraph from take 2 and the last paragraph from take 3 and the title and tag from take 1. And then the guy will just franken edit that together. And if it fits, we'll go to the 20 from the 30, and chances are it's the same copy. We can just copy and paste it in, and then we'll go to the 10, and then you have to redo the tag because it's a little faster than the 20 and the 30 tag, and then, and it's $540 or something for the body of the spot, and $93 for every tag, or something. No, $240 for the body of the spot, and $93 for the tag. So let's say you do a 30, 20, 10. That's $720, and then let's say there's 3 tags each. That's another $600. So for about 15 minutes work, you're making about $1,500. So it's a great way to make a living.
Boom.
So, and the whole thing takes like 15 minutes at the most, sometimes less, hopefully less.
But I think wants to know about the golden handcuffs, which is to do with exactly that.
I have no idea what that means. I've never.
Well, people always say the golden handcuffs of promo is that once you're the voice of something, then you are locked to your booth because it's all on demand.
Oh yeah, if you're successful, you're not going on vacation. So if you do, bring your rig. Because you don't want to. Because if you're not there, they'll go, all right, we'll hire somebody else, and they'll like somebody else, and then you'll.
Moving right along.
Lose $40,000 a year, because you took a vacation. It's just, you know what I mean? You just got to bring your rig with you wherever you go.
Yep.
And you can just go into a hotel bathroom and put up some moving blankets or whatever. I don't know how it is. You guys know better than I. And just kind of do your auditions there. Hell, I know a guy took his kids to Disney World, and he had to leave in the middle of Disney World to go back to the hotel, do an audition, send it back to Atlas, and then return to his family. But that's just
the life. The life.
It is the life, but it's not always. Like I was talking to a girl today who was getting married in Mexico, and she just told them a year in advance that she's taking 2 weeks off to go get married and go on her honeymoon. And Atlas said, "Okay, thank you for giving us the heads up." And if you give them a year's notice like that, you're not going to get in any trouble. But when it's like, I think I'm going to go out of the country this weekend, and they're like, what? So
yeah, no.
But these are called quality problems to have in life.
Absolutely.
To go back to what you were saying at the beginning of that last segment, Harry, like going through the motions of a session, you said 12 to 15 minutes, and if it goes over that, you're in trouble. I think the key there is not only have you learned to perform and do the reads well and deliver your brand and everything like that, but it's to offer that efficiency to the team that's working on this promo.
Right.
To just know what you need to deliver and just boom, boom, boom.
It's not like 15 minutes exactly. What I was trying to get at in a more general sense is when your reads are like a problem and you're getting note after note after note, and then you're giving back the same read even though you're getting a different note. It now 20 becomes 30 minutes, and it's like they got other sessions that are behind you, and it's holding up everything. It's just, it gets to be problematic. So just, if you got the job, you know what you're doing, obviously, and just be amenable to notes and be fast. That's all.
Yeah.
That's
no
it.
Time for chit chat.
Well, there's always time for chit chat. Trust me, there's always time for chit chat. Just once we get going, just do your job.
Yeah. We're going back to a demo related question from the chat from John again. Can you discuss the shelf life of a promo demo, which seems to be less than something like commercial? Does that matter? Shelf life of a promo demo?
Yeah, it matters because shows get canceled, products don't get canceled. You can do a Verizon spot from 2014. Chances are it'll still live today, unless, I guess, if you're talking about the iPhone 5, maybe not. But
Right.
but whatever. You know what I mean? It's shows come and go. It's like one of the things I pay closest attention to when I write a demo is, all right, is this show been canceled? Is this its last season? If this is the last season, I won't do it. I mean, it's not going to help you. But
that was one comment on mine. It was like the Real Housewives was canceled. It was like, no, it's actually, this is its first season back. They're like, oh. One of the agents that I sent the demo to, they're like, yeah, it's dated because of the Real Housewives. It was like, their season, they've just come back. It's their first season.
They went to
Like,
Peacock. Is what they did, and I think didn't we give you a Peacock tag on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's God.
There you go.
They just went to Peacock, and you were the first one to promote it, and now they're telling you that it's outdated. Well, that's just.
I had to put
there's
it
no
out to
winning.
them.
There's no winning. There's it is. This summarizes this hour and a half in the nutshell right here. There's no winning. Okay. There's winning occasionally, just for Christ's sake.
Right.
What's hey, Casey Clack? What is a tri-booth? What does that mean?
Ooh.
A tri-booth is a travel booth that was designed. Was it George Whittam?
Yeah,
that designed
George and
it?
one of his partners. I can look it up and tell
And it's
you.
basically 3 moving blankets and then PVC pipes that all break down that you can build for. It's like a triangle. That's why it's a tri-booth. And it has a clamp for your iPad and for your mic, and it's pretty good for traveling.
So when you fly WestJet and they lose your bag permanently, then you're screwed? Is that the deal?
Well, there's that. Casey, you can come on.
Yeah, I just pulled it up.
Oh, hey.
It's Rick Wasserman and George the Tech Whittam that designed
Yeah,
it
that's what I was
together.
going to say. You can go to like tribooth.com. They're really cool. It all fits into like a checkable size suitcase. I don't think it's not a carry-on. I think you have to check it, but it's really well thought out.
Yeah, you have to check it.
I don't
It's
have
too big
one,
for
and I
carry-on.
don't work for them, but but it is really, really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad. I am the only coach in the business that does not own a microphone nor has Pro Tools or Audacity or Twisted Wave or any of that. I just have this laptop and I just run my mouth like this. That's it. So I don't know any of this technical stuff. Although I did do a George Whittam and God, what was the guy's name? I did one of his talk shows, VO Auto Shop or VO Body.
with Dan Leonard.
Shop with
With Dan Leonard.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Dan Leonard. I did Dan and George. I met George, and I did this one thing with those guys. They were pretty funny. That was a fun day, So I don't know. That certainly the VO Buzz Weekly was probably the greatest thing that happened in my career. God bless Chuck and Stacy. They really launched me because no one knew who the hell I was, and then I did that one episode of VO Buzz, and suddenly my email was bing, 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 bing. There, that little VO Buzz Weekly is a gift from God, man. I'll tell you that. Is it still
they're
around?
great.
Are they still doing
It
VO
is.
Buzz Weekly?
Yep, they are.
Okay, boy, that was. I got nothing but love for those two, man. So, all right, what else? What's the next question here? I'm always out in the boonies. Oh, that's not a question. That's a statement. That's a statement. All right. So, anyway, so getting back to John about the shelf life of a demo, just if you're going to hire somebody to do your promo demo, just be conscious of when you think the show's going to end. If it's on its 9th season, you might want to, it's weird because shows on their 8th or 9th season versus shows that are on their first season. Sometimes if a show's on its first season, they get canceled because the ratings are so terrible. Just, maybe a second season show that's popular, just, and certainly the streaming stuff doesn't get canceled nearly as fast at all, So,
Harry, is it common for somebody to update a single spot? Like, let's say a show gets canceled, but the rest of the demo is pretty fresh.
Yeah, that's been done. I've done that before.
Update
I just charged 1/6 of my, I put 6 promos on a promo demo, and if they want to redo one, I'll just charge like, I don't know, 26, it's like $400 like $500 or something, whatever, $450 to do the pickup spot. And, that's not so bad. I don't want to make you, I love doing these. I don't want to make people go broke doing them. So,
but if it fixes what's broken, it fixes what's broken, and that's worthwhile. Yeah, that's good.
But demos are fun. I mean, they're really fun. It's like, especially when they hear it back for the first time and they didn't, like, here's my favorite demo moment. It was the late great Brad Venable, who unfortunately is no longer with us on planet Earth, but he's one of the people who died from COVID, and I wrote for him a spot for This Is Us. And he's a guy that's kind of a goofy guy, and he goes to the Silvis Awards in a T-shirt with writing on it. He was just that kind of funny, goofy.
He was great.
Goofy guy. And so we're doing, and if you ever want to hear his demo, I still have it up. It's on my website under network promo demos. Mm-hmm. And his wife, oh God, what's his wife's name? Come on, Harry, come on. You've been with her a million times. Oh, come on. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on this. Anyway, so she's sitting there, and we just recorded
Annie Venable.
Yes. And we just recorded the This Is Us promo. Okay. And we played it back. And then Brad starts to cry. And I'm like, what the fuck did I just do? What have I done? And I turned to his wife, and she's just on her phone like, oh, no, he always does that. Whatever. And I go, Brad, why are you crying? And he goes, and he literally said, like I always knew I could do a spot like this, and just to be able to hear it and knowing that I could do it. And he just cried. And it was like this beautiful emotional moment that you could, every now and then you had this magical moment you have in a demo that just, you like go, God, I'm so glad he hired me to do this. So I could share in that moment with the guy, He was a really sweet guy. And that was just such a genuine Brad Venable moment.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what you get in a demo is maybe you won't, Katie, thank you. Thank you, Jen. Thank you. It's just, when those moments come up, it's great. So anyway, what else?
I don't know.
I'm getting long-winded here. All right, let's kill it. I think we've accomplished that. Last question. I'm boring myself right now. So.
Oh my God.
No, you're not boring anyone.
we can wrap up, Barry. It's all good.
Anyway, listen, thank you all for doing this. I mean, I appreciate it. I'm glad I could be a part of this. And you too, thank you for inviting me. It's nice to be good enough for your roundtable.
Stop it. So silly.
I'm very glad that it worked out and that we were able to get you on the show because your schedule was a bit kooky there for a while.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, real quick to Max Goldberg, either ponchos or Fusongs are really good. And then there's that one that's in Tivoli Village. Oh God, what's that one? Whatever. I'm so fucking tired right now. I don't know. There's like 2 of them. And there's a lot of them that suck. So Mexican restaurants he's asking about. All right, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Much.
And again, Harry at Dunn Promo. If you have any questions, you feel free to email me. I will respond in due time.
Awesome. Emma, what do we got going on next week?
Next week, we're going to talk marketing and business with the one, the only, Mr. Paul Schmidt. He is an awesome guy. He's super smart. He's so passionate about fair rates and educating people about how to run your business. Because at the end of it, this is a business. It's not just something fun that we do. It's fun, but it's a business. Yeah. So please, please, please do come and join us.
Great energy from that guy, Paul Schmidt. We'll have
Oh,
him
yeah.
next week. Next week, join us Tuesday evening, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, here on Clubhouse for the Voiceover Round Table. We're here then. Hear you then. Have a great week, everyone. Take care. Be safe. We'll hear you next Tuesday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so
Thanks,
much, Harry.
My pleasure. Bye.
Cheers.